Hi, my name is Ahmad Farhan.
Hi, my name is Michelle.
Hello, my name is Tiba.
Hello, my name is Kiwi.
Hi, my name is Farah.
The production function relates the maximum amount of output that can be obtained from a given number of inputs. Firms use the production function to determine how much output they should produce given the price of a good and what combination of inputs they should use to produce given the price of capital and labor.
A short-run production is a production where there is at least one fixed input and variable inputs. It is not a set amount of time, rather, it is like an idea about how the production will be. Fixed input is an input to which quantity remains constant, regardless of how much output is produced. Machinery, factory, building, and equipment is one of the examples of fixed input. Variable input is an input whose usage can change as the level of output changes. The machine operating hours and the overtime of labor is one of the examples of variable inputs. Take for an example a production of pizza. The oven they use to cook the pizza is fixed input. The time taken and the labor to create the pizza is variable input as well as the ingredients.
Relationship between output and quantity of variable inputs can be described using three related concepts: total product, average product, and marginal product. First is total product. Total product is the total quantity of output produced with a given quantity input. The formula of total product is average product multiplied by labor. Next is average product. It is the ratio of total production to variable inputs, labor, used to produce a product. The formula of average product is total product divided by labor. Next is marginal product. Marginal product is changes in total production when variable inputs are increased in increment of 1 unit. The formula of marginal product is changes in total product divided by changes in labor. Let's look at the TP, AP, and MP curve. The TP curve describes how the quantity of output changes as the quantity of labor employed change. AP curve shows the relation between AP and the quantity of variable input and other inputs are fixed. The MP curve shows the relation between MP and the quantity of variable input and all the other inputs are fixed.
Increasing marginal returns occur when the marginal product of an additional worker exceeds the marginal product of the previous worker. Diminishing marginal returns occur when marginal product of an additional worker is less than the marginal product of the previous worker. I give you one example of milk production where there is only one worker. He gets the milk, he divided it into portions, he handled the machine, and he even packed the milk. Basically, he do all the jobs by himself. In 30 minutes or more, we could guess that this production will only produce 3 boxes of milk in such given time with limited labor. But what if they added one worker so he could have to get the milk, and they added one more to divide the milk into portions, and another one to pack the milk? We could guess that the total product will increase since there is job specialization and enough workers. So the company thought that maybe if they added more workers, it could increase the productivity. They added one more to help divide the portion, and one more to arrange the milk, and one more to handle the machine, and another one to help with the packaging. As more and more workers were added to the production, the job specialization does not work effectively anymore because there's a lot of people working in the same area. As we add more units of a variable input to fixed amount, the change of total output will at first rise and then fall. Diminishing return to labor occurs when marginal product of labor starts to fall. This means the total output will increase to a decreasing rate. Law of diminishing returns states that as the firm uses more of a variable input with a given quantity of fixed inputs, the marginal product of the variable input eventually diminishes. Let's take a look at the example of labor, total product, and marginal product here. The first labor managed to produce 3 outputs with additional output of 3 marginal product. The second production of 2 labors managed to produce 5 times more than the previous one with marginal product of 12. Then the third one, as the workers increased, they managed to increase the total production as well. But the marginal product falls to 6 because there is no job specialization. And the fourth production produced lesser than all of the above, showing that the marginal production begins to fall. On the production of 6 labors, the total product eventually falls to 22 from 25, and the marginal product is dropping to -3. Now, what is the reason of the falling marginal product? It is because of the fixed resources. Remember, short-run production can only change its variable inputs, while fixed inputs remain unchanged, which means increasing the amount of variable inputs until it outlimits the ability of fixed inputs will cause the total product to increase at a decreasing rate. At what number of labors does the diminishing return start? It is not the 6 labors that cause the diminishing return, it is the third number. Diminishing returns state that the marginal product will start falling on the third worker. Keep in your mind that we have 3 stages in diminishing return. The first stage is when the marginal product is increasing because of the job specialization. The second stage is when the marginal product starts to fall because of the fixed input. The total product is increasing but at a decreasing rate. The third stage is when the marginal product is actually falling because there are too many workers at one area. Now try to look at this graph and please ask questions if you don't understand any.
Profit is a financial benefit with the formula of total revenue minus total cost. Profit is realized when the amount of revenue gained from a business activity exceeds the expenses, costs, and taxes needed to sustain the activity. Costs can be described differently based on the business view. The accountant calculates costs based on explicit costs only, while the economists calculate costs based on the explicit costs and implicit costs. The formula to calculate economic profit is total revenue minus total cost, that is explicit and implicit costs, while the formula to calculate accounting profit is total revenue minus total cost, that is only the explicit cost. Thus, makes the economist gain smaller profit than accountant's profit.
Short-run cost. The relationship between output and cost can be described using 3 cost concepts, which is TC, MC, and AC. Total cost TC is sum of fixed and variable costs. Formula of TC is TFC plus TVC. TFC is total fixed cost, which is total cost of the firm's fixed input. Cost is at the same at all levels of outputs. Total variable cost TVC, which is known as total cost of the firm's variable inputs. Cost changes as level of output change. Average total cost AC, which is average fixed cost plus average variable cost. TC divided by Q, which is equals to TFC divided by Q plus TVC divided by Q. Marginal cost MC, which is increase in total cost from producing 1 more unit or output. Formula of MC, which is changes of TC divided by changes of Q.
First point is short-run cost curve. When output is 0, cost is positive because fixed cost has to be included, regardless of output. Examples of such costs are rent of land, duplication charges, license fee, interest on land, and another. They are called unavoidable contractual costs. Such costs remain contractually fixed and so cannot be avoided in short run. The total variable cost curve TVC starts from the origin because such cost varies which the level of output and hence are avoidable. Examples are electricity tariff, wages and compensations of casual workers, and cost of raw material. Average fixed cost is total fixed cost divided by output. AFC equal TFC divided by Q. Average fixed cost is relatively high at very low output levels. Marginal cost. Marginal cost is the change in short-run total cost attributable to an extra unit of output. MC equal average total cost divided average quantity. Short-run marginal cost refers to the change in cost that results from a change in output when the usage of the variable factor changes. The marginal cost curve intersects average variable cost and average total cost at their respective minimum points. The result follows from the definition of the cost curve. Next is short-run average and marginal cost curve. It shows that curve of marginal cost, curve of average total cost, and curve of average variable cost. Lastly is the summary. This summary shows the formula of short-run cost curve that you must to remember.
In the middle portion of the long-run average cost curve, economy of scale has been exhausted. In this situation, allowing all input to expand does not much change the average cost of production, and it is called constant return to scale. In this range of a long-run average cost curve, the average cost of production does not change much as scale rises or falls. This economy of scale can be present across an entire firm, not just a large factory. The Leviathan effect can hit firms that become too large to run efficiently across the entirety of the enterprise. Firms that can shrink their operations are often responding to finding itself in the diseconomy region, thus moving back to a lower average cost at the lower output level. So, long-run average cost slope upward. Economy of scale is once a firm has determined the least costly production technology. It can consider the optimal scale of production or quantity of output to produce. Economy of scale refers to the situation where as the quantity of output goes up, the cost per unit goes down. In everyday language, a larger factory can produce at a lower average cost than the smaller factory. The average cost curve refers to the downward sloping. The picture shows how the long-run average cost curve is built from a group of a short-run average cost curve. 5 short-run average cost curves appear on the picture. Each short-run average cost curve represents a different level of the fixed cost. For the long-run average cost curve, we mark the three experience. This is economy of scale, this economy of scale, and the constant economy of scale. The long-run cost curve refers to the time period for a firm where it can vary all the factors of production. Thus, the long run consists of variable input only, and the concept of fixed input does not arise. The firm can increase the size of the plant in the long run. Thus, no difference between the long-run variable cost and the long-run total cost, since fixed costs do not exist in the long-run cost. In the long-run cost curve, firm just can choose the plant size. When the firm changes its plant size, it might experience like economy of scale, diseconomy of scale, and constant return to scale.